I think Donald Trump is an aberration. I don't think Joe Biden's committed crimes. I don't think most of these people don't commit crimes. I don't think any precedent's being set here. We've got a career criminal, a con man who got his way into the Oval Office, and he's been criming his whole life, and it's catching up to him now, and he continued to do so when he was president.
I don't know if it's a crime, but I'm pretty sure Biden has at least sold himself, or his son has sold his proximity.
I know what you're saying, Sitch. Like, okay, there's some like shady stuff that goes on with all these guys, and could probably trump up charges on any of them.
Right.
I just think that is muddying the waters for real crimes committed by Trump. I personally believe that the president should be held to a higher standard. So there's people out there, like I had a discussion in my chat about what if Trump jaywalked? Should he be held accountable for that? I say yes, because we're supposed to be looking up to these people, and they're supposed to be role models. So even with all the people out there saying that it's business expense, who cares? And he paid off some, woman, whatever. I say we hold them to a higher standard. I think that benefits us as a society.
I think, so my moral intuition agrees with you. I think that all politicians should be held to a higher standard. And I think politicians and judges should get hit super hard when they violate the law, morally. But the cynical part of my brain disagrees, because I think the problem is I think you have to be very careful when you go after, especially when you go after presidents, for these reasons, because essentially it's like you don't want to create a precedent where whoever wins the presidency is going to leverage that power to try to arrest a political opponent. Like, imagine if when Trump won, he went through with like trying to lock Hillary up, right, for whatever email shenanigans were going on there. Like, that'd be seen as like a wild abuse of power. And it's kind of the same thing with this, is like, even if Trump did violate campaign contributions, it really feels like if Trump wasn't running for office and they weren't afraid of that I don't think that these prosecutions would be going on. It does feel like a political maneuver.
I don't disagree with that, but I think that the higher standard requires that they do look this carefully. And I've heard the argument about setting precedent. People are worried, well, they'll just do this forever now. Everybody will investigate their ex-president like they do in other countries.
Right.
We don't want to go down that route.
Stuff, yeah.
But I believe most people who run for president and receive the nomination are decent people. I go back to Mitt Romney. I go back to John McCain. I will say these are decent people that I don't think are career criminals. I think Donald Trump is an aberration. And I don't think Joe Biden's committed crimes. I don't think most of these people don't commit crimes. And you guys might disagree, but I don't think any precedent's being set here. We've got a career criminal, a con man who got his way into the Oval Office. My opinion, people can disagree. And he's been criming his whole life, and it's catching up to him now. And he continued to do so when he was president. So this is how the cookie crumbles. I just don't think others have committed crimes.
I think Trump is an aberration to some respect. I mean, I do think a lot of other presidents have probably committed lots of crimes. Mitt Romney, ran leverage buyout firms for years. I mean, he seemed like a total piece of shit. Like when he was doing, I think leverage buyouts are kind of disgusting anyway.
There's something there you could get him on. Totally.
Yeah, I bet there's something there you could get him on. And I think he only kind of came out against Trump because Trump famously, I don't know why, I don't remember why, but Trump famously like kind of floated the idea that he was going to be Secretary of State or some high position, and then like slapped him in the face. Just kind of like mocked him for it. And I think that was kind of why Mitt Romney was against Trump. I don't think it was like him taking a moral stance or anything.
He came to Bedminster golf course when Trump was picking cabinet members, I believe, and did an interview for a position. Yeah.
Well, Trump invited him.
Right. Trump invited him.
Yeah, he faked him out.
Yeah, there's that famous picture of like Mitt Romney walking away looking stunned, and Trump with a big smile on his face. So it looks like he was just fucking with him for some reason.
Maybe.
He got Romney's endorsement and then denied him the cabinet position.
Right. And then with Biden, well, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Romney got his revenge because he became the first senator from the president's party to vote to convict him of an impeachment trial.
I guess. I don't know if,
it'll be in history forever for them.
He didn't get convicted though, so I don't know.
No, but it was the first time a member of the president's party ever did that. It's pretty damning.
Maybe. But then with Biden, like, I don't know if it's a crime, but I'm pretty sure Biden has at least sold himself, or his son has sold his proximity uh, to his father as a means to get money to, leverage for, like, hey, pay me to be on the board of Burisma, pay me XYZ dollars, to have influence on my father. I mean, I don't know if any of that's ever taken root and actually influenced Biden, but I think selling it is, really fucked up in the first
Well,
place.
I think you're talking about 10% for the big guy. That all comes from the Hunter Biden laptop, which
Yeah.
you know, we don't even know what's real, what's not, or what's implied, and so we could have a whole long discussion there. But
Well,
I
they
just
never
disagree.
denied that
Hmm?
email, to my
Well,
knowledge.
yes, but the email says for the big guy. I think it was Hunter Biden just playing games to get himself an extra 10%. Pretty smart business
I
move, if
mean,
you ask
that's
me.
possible. That's definitely possible. But I think if you're even if that's the case, even if Biden himself never got a cent of that, I mean, the
Uh-huh.
fact that he was allowing his son to fucking do this shit is pretty wild.
Well, but come on, all these guys do it. All the presidents, it's all celebrities do it. They sell access to their last names, and they
Well,
people
celebrity
bring them
versus a
on.
president or a vice president's like a huge difference.
I just think they all do it. But it's having the family's last name associated with your business, right? Like it's just
Mhm.
good for business. So I think it's not against the law. I think it's just kind of something that is tolerated. I think we could have a conversation whether or not it should be happening, but
Mhm.
is it illegal? I don't think so. But
Yeah,
I
well,
know what you're
yeah,
saying.
right,
I know what
right.
you're saying, Sitch. Like, okay, there's some like shady stuff that goes on with all these guys, and you could probably
Mhm.
trump up charges on any of them.
Right.
I just think that is muddying the waters for real crimes committed by Trump. I mean, we could get into all the charges here, but like for me, the documents case is just so cut and dry. The guy hid documents. He did not comply with a subpoena. Who
Mhm.
knows
But
what
didn't
sort of
Biden do
secret?
that too? They found documents at his.
Yes, from the 70s, probably like schedules, like they
So
classify
statute of
so much stuff.
limitations
Well,
is.
no, the difference would be whether Biden had documents unintentionally, and then when asked, they gave them. Whether
Sure.
if Now, I don't know. I think they're claiming they have evidence to this, but I don't think it's been released publicly. They're claiming they have evidence that Trump knew he had documents, and when he was asked, intentionally hid them for whatever
Well,
reason. So that'd be a
and
very
these
different
lawyers,
scenario.
his lawyers sent a letter saying there's no documents left here after the subpoena was issued,
Yeah, that could
and
be a
that
mistake, right?
well, he had documents in his desk drawer with his passport. I mean, remember the documents on his office floor? That was in his office. How could that
Hmm.
be a mistake? And there were there were documents down in the boxes downstairs still. I mean, the
Look,
guy got caught red-handed. He
it's
never thought the FBI would raid his home.
it sounds like you agree that you
Mm.
could go after anyone in political life.
You could, but I don't think you would get anything to stick on anyone but Trump because he actually has committed crimes and others haven't.
So, well, just let me go back to the documents for a second. I think, yeah, I don't like. They said it was in his drawer. I don't remember if they said like exactly what the position of documents were. Obviously, if you open the drawer that Trump uses and there's a document right at the top, the top secret, you'd be like, well, how the fuck did you miss this one, right? Um, I know they said there was a bunch of documents like in the back of his closet somewhere, and there were stuff in the basement. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe I'm not 100% sure on this, but I believe for the charge, they would have to prove that there was a knowing intent to deceive the government and say that they didn't have documents, and that they're saying that when the lawyer signed the paper that said we don't have any more documents, that the lawyer knew that they did have stuff and was being directed by Trump. And I believe they claim that they have additional evidence to that fact that we haven't seen yet.
Well, you're right, and that's why a federal judge saw evidence exactly related to that and said that Evan Corcoran, Trump's lawyer who wrote the letter, has to come back and answer questions. He lost
Right.
his attorney-client privilege because evidence was presented by the government to the judge that was so convincing that he got the rare removal of
Mhm.
attorney-client exemption, which is like
Right.
super rare. And so that's directly related to that letter. So I think he's cooked.
We'll see. I mean, I think for any case against Trump, it's going to be a massive uphill battle because I don't think most people involved care about the facts. I think it's going to be strictly along political lines, whether they think he's guilty or not. So I don't know how they're going to find a jury to weigh in on this. But
Dude, I'm surprised by how many people out there don't know anything. Remember this jury 4 woman who came out and gave these loopy interviews? This
Yes.
young woman, remember her? She
Mhm.
had no clue. She didn't pay attention to anything. She was like, "Oh my God, it's Rudy Giuliani." She was like starstruck from back during the 9/11 days. You know what I mean? Like, so there's plenty of people out there who have no clue what's going on in politics.
Yeah, but so
at
then it's
all.
even worse. It's like we have to literally get the dumbest people in America to be on the jury
Well,
'cause
that's not.
they're the only people that don't know.
I would say that's unfair. Just because you're not abreast of what's going on in politics doesn't make you dumb.
If
She could
someone
be
doesn't
brilliant scientist or something for all we know.
Oh, okay. There's some brilliant scientist locked away on his mountain laboratory somewhere, charting stars and working in quantum physics. He doesn't even know who the president is, and then he'll weigh in
busy.
on the case. Yeah.
Too busy solving the world's
There you go.
mysteries. Okay.
I'll just say that lady didn't strike me as like, the sharpest tool in the tool shed.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I got to use the
That-
restroom. I'll be back.
that-
I'm going to still be
all right.
listening though.
That
Sure.
crazy lady wasn't on the documents thing though. That crazy lady.
She was for Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was for
so-
Georgia. But I use her as an example that there are like people out there who are just totally clueless. Like I met
Yeah.
a streamer who didn't even know about January 6th recently, and I was blown away.
Oh my
No,
god.
you didn't know. You thought the crazy lady was for the documents. You're just as uninformed.
No!
as every-
Come on. I knew she
I'm
was
just-
just
I'm
a
only
poor
playing.
woman for Atlanta.
Yeah. Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.